times this summer the workload has been insane. School didn't get any harder from 20 years ago. If anything, it got easier. Guys, I feel like I just ramble here. 6 a.m. and I am headed to round 2 of 5 for clinicals. Good news, OB, labor and delivery, I also only need 60 hours in. I got my email back from Elmhurst when I looked this morning. Again, I am speaking from my own experiences with Elmhurst. Clinicals have been a positive thing. When they email me back, because they found me a place that's an hour away, which, guys, I live in rural Illinois. A lot of people that live here give birth an hour away. There's not a lot of choices. There's one place that's 30 minutes away. I asked them, I said, hey, Litchfield Hospital in St. Francis, that's a sister hospital. It's only 30 minutes away. Do you think you could see if they would switch me there? They replied back and they're like, thanks for the dates, because they gave me a string of dates. They're like, which of these days can you work? And they're like, thanks for the dates. That's helpful. We will double check and see if they'll switch you over to Litchfield. If they won't, like I said, it's not a huge deal. Most people drive, not most people, but a lot of people. If you're high risk, you drive an hour to give birth at one of the bigger hospitals with the NICU. So yeah, that's set up. And I found out, I think I just said that, it's only 60 hours for OB labor and delivery. I'm guessing it's only 60 hours for peds then too, which that's really reasonable. That's doable. If they're gonna just cut us down to 60 hours at a time for each rotation, that just made things a lot easier, guys. 30 hours of clinicals, it's only like 2.5 extra days of clinicals, but then that's twice a term, so that's 5 extra days of clinicals a term, and those take all day long. That's good. That's helpful. The workload, oh guys, there were times this summer the workload has been insane with school. I actually think it's gonna get a little better in the fall because we only take 2 classes at a time, and right now we're doing 3 classes and clinicals. And we had 1 class they squeezed into the first 6 weeks of summer, and 1 class they're squeezing into the second 6 weeks of summer. That's a lot. So I don't know. When fall starts, we only have 2 classes at a time plus clinicals. Christmas break is getting closer than ever. Cannot wait. Yeah, headed to mental health again today. My goal is to spend some time talking one-on-one with patients, get some information, because we have to document roughly, not word for word, because they don't want us taking notes in mental health. They're like, you're going to make people nervous if you're taking notes in there. But they want us to document roughly a conversation we had and how it was therapeutic. So my preceptor stays in the office almost the whole time, but I go sit in on the group sessions, which he's fine with. I think he likes me out of his hair for a little bit so he can do nothing and not have someone staring at him while he does nothing. I'm not saying that to be mean. Like, he's a great guy. He does a great job, but there are a lot of down periods in the middle of the day. I think he felt the need to keep conversation going, which, yeah, that's exhausting. Anyways, I'm going to go to groups, and in the evening last week, there was like a veterans group that was working on a Lego set of some war tank thing. And I sat in there with them and talked with them, and they're very open to it. I did not feel at all like I was intruding. I think I have a pretty good sense of when I'm not welcome in a group, or when, conversation lulls when you show up. I didn't sense that at all. I really like the people there. And when I say the people, I mean the people that work there and the people that are patients there. The place I'm at is not spiritually affiliated, as far as I know. I didn't see anything on their website about a certain religion. I think several people that work there are definitely Christians. My preceptor is with me, he was a very outspoken Christian. I didn't hear him proselytizing to patients or anything, but I'm sure you stay there 30 to 90 days, you get to know people. So it's I almost would label it a Christian environment. I wouldn't, because the building, the facility is not Christian owned. I don't think they offered chapel or church service. That would be interesting to know. It would be good if they offered to take them to church, if they're taking them for pedicures and golf and stuff. I'm not sure though if they do. I know there's one lady there that she was a minister's wife. This is not Christian, but one of the guys there wants to become a Buddhist monk. So definitely spirituality is discussed some with people, but that's not the focus. But that said, I feel like it is a very welcoming environment to Christians. So don't know anything else, guys. I'm hoping to have more energy when I leave this time than last time. I've got my coffee. I think I need to dig in my clinical bag and take some headache medicine proactively for today. So, because when I come home tonight, I actually have a little bit of teaching to do. Just 30 minutes. Thankfully, my 1 hour class canceled tonight. So, but I have 30 minutes of class to teach tonight at 9, I think, 10:10. I don't know. It's on my calendar. I know I need to look when I get home. Guys, I feel like I just ramble here. If there's any questions you have that you want me to answer about this whole accelerated BSN program, about being a nursing student in your 40s, and it's not a weird thing. If you're looking into this and you're like, is anyone else doing this in their 40s? Yes, they are. My preceptor went to school to become a nurse in his 40s. He was a correctional officer beforehand. My last preceptor went to school to become a nurse. I don't know when, but probably around her 40s. She was a CNA before then. I think she jumped straight from CNA into RN. But yeah, you're not too old. You're not too old to go to nursing school. If you're doing an accelerated program, they are 12 to 18 months, depending on the program you get. Depending on what you got going on in your lives. Some people are like, oh, I wouldn't do any less time. My program's 16 months, but we have a month and a half off. So it's really like 14 and a half months. I don't think I could. It would be really hard to do this program that I'm doing in 12 months, but if I didn't have as many responsibilities at home, I could. If I just had teenagers and not the added medical complex doctor's appointments schedules that we have, I think I could squeeze it all in 12 months. There's a couple people fortunate enough to not need to work at all, during this. I work part-time. Probably if I could cut out my part-time work, I could, squeeze it in shorter, but it's doable, guys. If you already have a degree, you've done stuff, you've done schoolwork before. School didn't get any harder from 20 years ago. If anything, it got easier because there's more resources than ever before. You don't have to take notes anymore, guys. The notes are taken, unless it just helps you write stuff down. The current college generation is used to everything being fed to them neatly. And I mean, there's review sheets, there's review videos, there's so many resources to help you study now that we didn't have 20 years ago, 25 years ago. If you're looking at going back to school and you're like, I don't know. Being an older student is not hard. And if anything, I also have less, I don't want to say I have less at stake, because I didn't pay for college the first time around, guys. I had scholarships and generous parents. Those are what paid for my college the first time around. I mean, yes, I earned the scholarships, but didn't cover all of it, and I didn't have to go into debt. My parents covered the rest of my college bill. So, on the other hand, this time I've got a lot of money at stake. You know, I took out a lot of loans. This was not a cheap thing. So on one hand, I have more at stake. Like, this is my money on the line. I would be in trouble if I dropped out of this program with this much money on the line. On the other hand, I think when I was in my 20s, I cared a lot more about my grades, and in different professions you're going in, your grades matter more than others. I'm like, I don't ever plan on getting my master's. That's not for me. And there's a shortage of nurses, and I've got a job lined up. And even if I didn't have a job lined up with Raylan, it's really easy to get a job in home health. I think I'm going to be able to get a job at this facility if I would want it. I think I'd love working there part-time, but I'm not sure about full-time. And I don't know. I feel like I'd need to work there full-time for a little bit before I could go down to part-time. And I don't think I have that kind of time on my hands. Maybe I will in 6 months or a year. That's possible. I'm planning on, when I graduate, I am just being Raylan's nurse for at least 6 months. And if we have an insane amount of nursing, which I will not complain about, like if we have nursing coverage and I can only work part-time for 6 months, that's okay. I will just work part-time for 6 months. We need to pay off school and stuff, but I need a rest, and I need time to bond with my kids again after this program. So, but less than 10 months till this is all done, and like I said, I have all of January to bond with my kiddos too, because I'm off for all of January and part of December. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna shut this off. I really am gonna get to clinicals, and I'm gonna listen to med names and generic names on my way there on YouTube, because there's always ways to study, and I need to get my generic and not generic names straight. So have a good day, guys. I'll be back after clinicals.